What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
In the long list of Hollywood misfires, few are as loud and as confusingly edited as David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Very early on, you clock what it's doing. Freeze frames, title cards, needle drops every few seconds like someone's flicking through Spotify. It's flashy, it's busy, it's trying very hard to hook you. But it doesn't. Because everything arrives at once. Characters, tone, backstory, all dumped up front before the film's had a chance to breathe. Nothing builds, it just keeps pushing. You can feel the film trying to win you over in real time instead of letting anything land. That's where it falls apart. This kind of editing works in a 2-minute trailer, quick hits, instant payoff. Stretched out across a full film, and it stops working. It just gives you mental indigestion. In this video, I'll break down everything that went wrong. From the chaotic post-production process to the momentary editing flaws, the countdown is not matching with the visuals, and why building your film like a trailer kills it as cinema. Here is my take. Back in 2014, David Ayer was brought in to make Suicide Squad. He had never made a superhero flick. Most of his credits are war and action films.
David has a background in the military. He was a submariner when he was a young man.
According to one of his editors, Kevin Hickman, Ayer's version was darker, more grounded. A soulful war drama with supervillains. Warner Brothers were on board, at first. They took a look at his script and said, "Lovely, one small thing. Can you cut that major villain? You've got 6 weeks to do that." While DC were busy crafting Batman vs Superman and Wonder Woman, Ayer was cracking on with the script. Filming in 2015 went relatively smoothly, if you ignore Jared Leto's method acting his way into an HR nightmare.
How about the gifts you gave everyone? Yeah. Rats, bullets, a hog.
Don't forget the anal beads.
That's nasty.
The real chaos started in the edit. The original editor John Gilroy left. Lee Smith, who worked on the Dark Knight trilogy, stepped in and assembled Ayer's cut, about 143 minutes. A linear narrative with no needle drops and no gimmicks. Closer to that grounded war film tone. At the same time, Warner Brothers were building a second cut with Trailer Park. Because the trailer they released in January 2016, the bright, punchy, cheeky edit cut to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody, went down an absolute storm. The studio looked at that and thought, alright, let's make the whole film feel like that. So now there are 2 versions. One grounded, one cut like a trailer.
Hi boys!
They tested them both, but there was no clear winner. Because the audiences like different bits of each. Which is about as helpful as asking a group of people to choose between tea or tequila. Then came the final push. Batman vs Superman lands and gets absolutely rinsed. At the same time, Marvel's Deadpool drops, and everyone loves it. So the studio, in a bit of a panic, went, make it funnier, make it lighter, make it that.
What?
So they merged the 2 cuts, but with expensive additions, more reshoots, more jokes.
Smells your perfume. What is that? The scent of death?
Please stop talking, Harley. More licensed music. Oh yes, we have the song Spirit in the Sky because everyone's in the sky. I feel so clever. To be fair to Ayer, this isn't just a film director losing control. It's a film being reshaped mid-process by a studio reacting in real time. And the final version reflects that.
You were caught robbing a diamond exchange.
Oh, was not? Why keep that in the film if you have the dossier intro showing us? It feels like a trailer stretched too far. I love that the film is in such a rush to get through the characters that they jump cut June Moon walking through the jungle with cross dissolves. That works for a trailer. It does not work for a film. Years later, James Gunn makes The Suicide Squad. Same idea, clearer direction, and it works. That's what you get if you let the film director cook, Warner Brothers. When Zack Snyder got a chance to release his version of the Justice League, people wondered if Suicide Squad might get the same treatment.
I would love to see it. Yeah, I mean, why not, right?
It's in a company's best interest to listen to their audience. And if it's something that's so in demand and they got it, why not?
I was up for it. Warner Brothers were not. Just accept James Gunn's version, they said. And so the darker version, the war film with villains, never saw the light of day. There are two problems here. The big picture, how the film is structured.
This ain't World War II.
It's World War III.
We don't even know what the threat is. What is Amanda Waller's mission? Why is she recruiting these villains? And the moment-to-moment cutting, how each scene plays. So in basic editing, you need to create a connection between the images to let the viewers understand what's going on. It comes across very jarring because we see no connection between the security room and Will Smith. It would have made sense to show one of the screens showing Will Smith, but we don't see him there. Starting with structural editing, everything is front-loaded. We meet the squad in prison, then Amanda Waller introduces them again through dossiers. A lot of these scenes feel like we are just reintroducing the characters, especially with Deadshot showing off his shooting skills. We had already seen that before he got arrested. My theory is that Ayer was trying to introduce them naturally within the prison, but then Trailer Park wanted to do these dossier intros. In a trailer, you compress everything so the audience gets it instantly. In a film, that kills momentum. Instead of discovering characters through the story, through dialogue, we're handed summaries with redundant voiceover.
But the bat got her too.
We can see that, Amanda. We can see that plain and clear. That pacing also affects the story. Ideas are introduced quickly, and then drop just as quickly. So we have a close-up of June outside Belle Reve with Rick Flag and Amanda Waller. We see Amanda interact with Harley Quinn, we see Rick Flag interact with Killer Croc, but we don't see June. She just suddenly disappears. Where did she go? There's a dynamic early on with the prison guard Griggs.
That is just a whole lot of pretty and a whole lot of crazy.
But then he disappears. No follow-up, no payoff. The film just moves on before anything can develop. What is the point of establishing him when you're not going to do anything about him? On a scene level, the same issue shows up. The film moves constantly, but it doesn't build.
Hearts out! We can end this!
We already know how important the heart is.
We gotta cut her heart out!
Why do we need dialogue from Rick that we already have clear understanding of? Scenes jump in time. One moment Harley Quinn is standing up, in the next shot she is already seated. Geography gets messy. You know, the whole time, the heart had been such an important thing, but up to the moment when Harley snatches the heart, it just suddenly disappears until Captain Boomerang picks it up from the floor. And you can't just discard important props like that. Moments are cut short or sped up, with barely any dialogue and none of the actors' performances showing through. Last-minute characters are introduced like afterthoughts, with a quick backstory scene and a whole load of exposition from Rick Flag.
I would advise not getting killed by her. Her sword traps the souls of its victims.
Moments don't flow, they're interrupted. Again, it feels like trailer editing. Short bursts, quick impact, move on. That works in isolation. Over a full scene, it stops anything from escalating. The introduction montage is where this is most obvious. Most of the characters get a freeze frame, a title card, a burst of backstory, a random song. You don't own me. That's effective in a trailer, quick character selling, but stacked back to back in a film, it becomes static. There's no progression, no build. It's not taking the time to establish the themes and conflicts. Even the details don't go anywhere. Captain Boomerang's pink unicorn is framed like it matters. I mean, it's so important because the text is even bigger than Captain Boomerang's own name. We deliberately see a shot of him putting the pink unicorn in his left breast pocket. Later on, he is attacked. The pink unicorn flies out of his left breast pocket, and then we see a deliberate shot of him putting it in his left breast pocket. Okay, it is plain and clear where the pink unicorn is situated, and at some point we should see it again. And then in the next scene, he gets attacked, and this time he gets stabbed on his left side. But what he takes out of his left pocket instead is a prop that we hadn't seen in this entire film. And we never see the pink unicorn again. Why even mention it in the bloody title card? The sequence isn't building character, it's just listing them. Deadshot uses a potato cannon? Harley Quinn is super freaky, so she gets the song Super Freak. Badass Amanda Waller gathers villains for a secret mission. She gets Sympathy for the Devil. Killer Croc is unfortunate, so he gets the ironic title Fortunate Son, which doesn't really make sense because it's about the Vietnam War. Each track spells out exactly what the scene is about, in a weak attempt at humour. That works in the trailer because it creates an instant tone, instant clarity, but over the course of a full film, it becomes relentless and repetitive. There was actually tension and we just are interrupted by this random song. Every song does the same job. A heavy-handed explanation of the character or situation. So there's no subtext. Because the film is built from different versions, the tone keeps shifting.
Take her.
Oh my gosh, this is so tone deaf. We just had a dark threat with ominous music, and then the next moment we get rock music as Harley Quinn beats up the officers. That's how you get moments like Enchantress transforming a soldier into a hideous monster, followed by Harley Quinn doing last-minute shopping.
Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
The Suicide Squad bicker and call each other family when they barely exchange any words. Actually, in the behind the scenes, I confess that the actors were too close to each other and needed to remind them that they weren't even friends yet. You can see that there's a lot of chemistry between each other, but it's such a shame because it's not even established properly.
I lost one family, I ain't gonna lose another one.
Stop talking about family like you're Vin Diesel from the Fast and Furious. You don't know these people. There is only one genuine scene of them bonding over drinks, but it doesn't feel earned. The only well-developed relationship in this film is between Deadshot and Rick Flag. Yeah, not Rick Flag and June, not Harley and Deadshot, not even Joker and Harley Quinn, but Deadshot and Rick.
I'm a soldier, and you're a serial killer who takes credit cards. When the shooting starts, you'll cut and run. We want to keep playing the Hollywood Squares version about blow your freaking head off?
You next, Deadshot.
He just threatened me.
Get off me!
Good riddance.
Harley, he dies, we die!
That's how I cut and run.
You help me keep this Mardi Gras parade in line, and I'll hook you up.
They have to flag again! Let me fight! You die, we die!
We had a deal.
Without Waller, you got nothing.
Tell everybody. Everything. Me and you gonna go right now. You can just kill me right now, but I'm gonna have a drink.
Deadshot, I need your help.
No, sir.
The only woman I ever cared about is trapped inside that monster. You're free to go. Your daughter writes you every day.
You had these the whole time. I'm gonna get you there. I got your back. That was a great shot, man. Hey, I don't do hugs. I'm not a hugger.
I have a theory that Ayer's film was going to focus more on Rick Flag as the main character. I just feel like there's more focus on Rick Flag's character development, and based on Ayer's military background, I think Ayer's cut was about a military man dealing with a bunch of supervillains as his recruits. It doesn't feel grounded, it doesn't feel heightened, it just feels inconsistent.
Now tell me how to destroy your armies.
Why do you need Amanda's help? You've been doing perfectly fine so far. What you're left with is a film that feels busy but empty, fast but dragging, loud but forgettable. Nothing builds, because the edit never stays in one place long enough to let anything matter. How the fuck am I supposed to read that? I am a fast reader, but come on. This is what Studio Fear looks like. At the time, Warner Brothers was scrambling to keep up with Marvel and chasing an audience they thought had no attention span. The assumption was simple. If you slow things down, you'll lose the audience. So everything had to be fast, loud, constant. But that's not how films work. That might be a fast cut, but you don't fool me, movie. Why is the bullet going straight to the guy's head when there's another guy right behind him? Unless the bullet curves like in the film Wanted, it should not hit the target. And what you end up with feels less like a story and more like something you're being sold. Suicide Squad didn't fall apart because of one bad decision. It fell apart because it never committed to a direction. The edit is stuck holding together different versions of the same film, and it can't. Editing can shape a film, but it can't decide what the film is. So instead of a story, you get a highlight reel, an oversized trailer stretched to 2 hours. And no one wants to be stuck in a long ad. What are your thoughts? Do you think the studio panic ruined the film? Or do you think it was a failure from the start? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more editing breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.